If you're a single guy who's frustrated with dating apps like Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, etc., then you're definitely not alone, because these dating apps can be absolutely frustrating and downright atrocious, especially if you're in a Western country like the USA, Canada, UK, etc. And Instagram is actually orders of magnitude better option for meeting women versus a dating app, which we'll get into in a second. In a few minutes, I'm going to jump into my laptop and show you a training that I recorded the other day that's going to show exactly how an average looking guy like me is picking up these 9s and 10s that you see here, all from Instagram, no dating apps. Now, the reason I use Instagram primarily instead of dating apps is because dating apps have 4 major issues that I'm sure you've experienced as well. Number 1 is they often lock you into a certain cohort and they show you only very unattractive women. So after a few days of using the app, if your profile isn't one of the top profiles getting a lot of, right swipes, they really show you very physically undesirable women after a few days, and you literally don't even see attractive girls. Number 2, even if you do see some attractive girls, they're not seeing you. Your profile is not even being shown to them most of the time because they want your money. They want you to buy premium. Even if you have premium, they want you to buy boosts and super likes, and they progressively show you fewer and fewer girls to get you to pay. Number 3, they're extremely competitive, and girls are making snap decisions based on your main photo. So they're like left, right, quarter of a second. No, yes, no, 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 yes, no, no, no. More no's than yeses, right? And they're not putting any time into actually looking at your profile. They're making a snap judgment. And number 4, the few matches that you do get are extremely flaky, and they ghost you because there's just too many men bombarding them with messages. You have too much competition. Now, all of these problems that I experienced, that you're experiencing on these dating apps, are not an issue with Instagram, because on Instagram, you can just see the hottest girls in your area. You're not trapped by what the algorithm chooses to show you. Number 2, you don't have to match with them. You can just literally send them in that message. Number 3, girls on Instagram, except for like the blue check, Instagram models, but most girls are receiving way fewer messages than they would if they were on a dating app. And number 4, when you contact a woman on Instagram, she's going to spend significantly more time checking out your profile than she would if this was a dating app. So listen up. This is like the most important thing. On a dating app, remember, it's left, right, left, right. For some reason, when a guy messages a girl on Instagram, it's just different. They go down the rabbit hole more. They look at your photos, they look at your stories, they look at your reels. And actually, looking at your reels, I have something very special. We're going to get into the training in a second, but something that I call charming video content. Why would a 9 or 10 choose to go out with me? Well, it's certainly not my looks. I do have really good photos. I show a high class, high status lifestyle, always out with friends, always doing cool, interesting stuff. But it's the video content, and nobody else is doing this. Nobody else is teaching this. Everyone's going to rip me off and, they'll call it something else. But you heard it here first, charming video content. What I do is I produce these funny videos that show off my charisma and my charm in a funny, attractive way. And every time I go out with one of these beautiful girls that you've been seeing on the screen, I say, cool, so you must get a lot of messages. What made you want to go out with me? They always say, well, your profile is really cool. You're always out doing cool stuff with friends. You had great photos. But it was the videos. Like, the videos were hilarious. It gave me kind of an insight into your personality. I thought you were really funny. And, it was just really cool. And yeah, that's why I responded. Then, I'm really good at texting them. We'll talk about how to message them in a second. So anyway, yeah, let's just hop into my laptop right now. I'm going to show you the free training that I recorded. So without any further ado, let's jump into the training right now. Okay, welcome everybody to the ultimate guide to meeting women on Instagram. So what you're going to learn by the end of this concise and free training is how to have an amazing dating life, get an amazing girlfriend, etc., all these types of things, while using Instagram as the main lead source for meeting all these women. Surprise, surprise, it's all about Instagram. The best dating app ever created. Indicate all the hottest girls are on Instagram. So specifically, in our quest to dominate our dating lives by using Instagram, we're going to cover why women ignore your DMs in the first place and how to fix that, how to build an Instagram profile that is actually attractive to women, how to find an unlimited number of women on Instagram to contact, hot girls in your area, how to contact them in a way that actually works, aka no more landing in that hidden requests folder of doom, what to message them to turn a cold DM from a stranger into a date, And then finally, this is my favorite part, so stick around. You guys really want to watch this till the end, is how to systematize and outsource this entire process for maximum efficiency. So first of all, why do we use Instagram? Why not just use a dating app? Well, number one, Instagram has unlimited volume, which is really good for cities where you may run out of options. I know I've been in like Charleston, South Carolina. You can swipe on Hinge or Bumble there for like an hour and you're like out of girls. Number two, why Instagram is better, and this is actually probably my favorite reason why, is you have more than just a fraction of a second to charm them, to get their attention, right? On dating apps, it's the opposite, right? You have like less than a second. She's like, left, right, left, right. She's going to decide if she likes, your facial structure. In like a quarter of a second, you have very fierce competition. You're competing with guys that look, ripped without their shirt on, etc. And it's especially useful, the fact that girls spend more time evaluating guys on Instagram than they would on a dating app where they're swiping left, right in a second, is it's especially useful for us average looking guys like me. And you can even use your lifestyle and personality to get girls by showcasing it on Instagram. And girls are a lot more receptive than they are on dating apps. We're going to talk a lot more about this lifestyle and personality stuff for attracting women. On that same thread, continuing that, is you can use video content of yourself, right? You can actually post video content of yourself talking to make yourself highly attractive, which is the hands down absolute best thing that's working right now in the world of dating, online dating, Instagram dating, just dating as a whole. And we're going to talk a lot more about this charming video content in a second, so stick around. But we're going to spend quite a bit of time on number one. We're getting into like what to text girls, how to find them, but we're going to spend the most time on this number one, which is why do girls ignore your DMs in the first place? Now we're going to presuppose that the girls are single and looking to date. So the number one reason why a girl might ignore your DM could be just the fact that, yeah, she's not single, she's not looking to date. But assuming they are, assuming that the girl is actually open to dating, why is she ignoring your DM? Well, the single most likely reason is you do not have this high status, or what I sometimes call charming, Instagram profile. The other two possibilities are that you're just not her physical type, which we can help with that a lot, or that she never even saw your DM in the first place. It went to the hidden request folder. We can help with that too. So we can help with both of these. More on these later. But first, let's go back to this most likely and most important one, which is your Instagram profile sucks. It's just you're DMing her from an Instagram profile that is not curated intelligently and designed to be attractive to women, charming, etc. So what is this high status and charming profile? So a high status or a charming profile is one where you look like James Bond. You look cool, you look sophisticated, intelligent, successful, social, charismatic, confident, all these different things, right? You look like me, you look like James Bond. This is a real photo. This is definitely not an AI generated photo, by the way. I put out another training called the 5 steps to building a high status social media. I also have something called my ultimate photography guide. This will be the short version. This is my friend Steven. This is a gentleman that I helped. You can see I'm in the photo with him. Curate this high status and charming profile. And the long and short of it is, again, if you're watching this on YouTube, there'll be a link in the description. If you're watching this on my website, below this video, I'll have a link to all my other trainings. You can go in depth on my photography guide or my step-by-step guide to building a high status social media. But the short version is, just look at this guy, right? He's super well dressed. He's in luxurious locations. He has cool friends. Look, he's just basically toasting and, celebrating to life. He's got the guy friends. He's got, the pretty girls. He's doing high value stuff like, here he's giving a speech to a room full of people. So what is a random girl that Steven DMs? What is she to think when she sees this profile, right? Especially this last one, right? Well, she'd probably think confidence because she, to own a room. He looks very comfortable up there talking to a room full of people. So confidence, intelligence, wisdom, success. He has something to teach, knowledgeable. Maybe it implies wealth, status, right? So this is what she's going to think. And again, watch my other trainings. What we're going to talk about is a bit more of what to do after you have the high status profile. I'm getting into it, right? I'm showing examples of it. He's well dressed. He's in luxurious locations. He's doing high value stuff. I call this, the core for the lighting, the fashion, the grooming, and the location is, the core for a good photo. It's covered more in my other trainings, but, and so is this one, but I want to just, kind of keep things moving along because we got a lot to talk about here. We got a lot to talk. This training is going to focus more on what to do after you have the high status profile, although we're already, getting into that as well. So the other thing that I was talking about is that charming video content. Remember how I said that on Instagram, the women spend more time evaluating your profile. It's not left, right in a second. If you have pinned to the top of your profile this charming video content, then you're going to win, okay? Now, let me show a quick example of this charming video content for you guys right now. Hey guys, just a quick reminder that, this life is so beautiful, it's so amazing, has so much to offer, but it's just way too short. So make sure for every precious second you have of life on this earth, you spend as much time as possible on your phone, because the truth is, you can't take your phone with you when you die. All right, cool. So you saw that example. Now, in that example, I was using sarcastic humor. It's just a selfie video. You can just, grab your phone and just, record that today. Stand in front of a window. I have a window right over there. That's why I have good lighting. Get good lighting, be in your house. You can use, CapCut, a free video editing app, or Instagram, add the cheesy music. It doesn't have to be a corny, sarcastic, funny video. I think it's funny. I don't think it's corny. But it could just be you telling a very interesting story with a great punchline at the end. It could be you going on some entertaining rant. Maybe you're going on a rant against woke culture and you're really, turning on the girls that vibe with you on that. Like I said, it could be anything. You're playing music in front of the crowd of people. That could be something very charming. You're DJing. But if you have some of this video content, preferably where you're talking and you're showing your personality, you're showing your charm and your humor. So my results from adding this charming content, and again, it's talked about, in my other trainings as well, if you want to go deeper on this, but it basically doubled the percentage of random beautiful women who accepted my follow request on Instagram and then also followed me back. Okay, so if I was to follow a random girl on Instagram before, out of 20, I get about 2 to 3 following me back. Now I have my virtual assistant follow 20 women a day, and I get an average of about 7 follow me back. So on this day it was 8, 7, 7, 6, 8, 7, 7. On a bad day it could be 5. But point being, remember I said we're going to get into automation, outsourcing, delegating, this entire process. I'm going to show you how to do it, and then we're going to talk about outsourcing and delegating as well if you want to go down that road. But point being, with the high status profile, the charming profile, whatever you want to call it, with the charming video content that shows your personality and all the good lifestyle photos like this that we saw of Steven, this is the result of all that put together. When you follow 20 women, whether you do it manually or whether you outsource it, which we'll talk about in a second, that about a third of them will follow you back. It also depends on your dating market and things like that. Certain dating markets are more competitive. At least I live in a fairly competitive dating market. Sao Paulo, Brazil, huge city, lots of rich guys. Brazil's not one of those countries where, gringos walk off the plane and they line up for you. And you can see the results that I'm getting. So reminder, we're still just on point number 1. We're still answering the question why a girl would ignore your DM on Instagram. So we cover the most likely one. We get into good depth. And like I mentioned a million times, I have other trainings that go more in depth about how to build this attractive profile. But the most likely reason is if a girl's not answering your DM, other than the fact that maybe she's just, has a boyfriend, she isn't single, is that your profile simply wasn't attractive. And remember, we mentioned those other 2 reasons. It could be just the fact that you're not her physical type, or that she never saw your DM in the first place. And had she seen it, she would have responded. So what can we do about these 2? Well, if you're not her physical type, you can cheat a bit. I know I sound like a broken record, but I cover this more. This one is covered in my guide called The Dirty Guide to Getting Matches, because we cover more in depth about, some tricks to use AI and various apps like that. And I'll show some instruction here. I won't leave you guys hanging. But you can see here, the goal is we're not being catfish, right? You can see here, there's no way that she's going to be expecting this body. And then when I'm kissing her, I'm making out with her, we've had an amazing dinner date, and I take my shirt off and I whip this body out, that she's going to be like, excuse me, sir, you are 10% less muscular and ripped in real life than you were on Instagram. No chance, right? The goal is we're just doing it, very, very subtly. The subtly smirk, a little bit more clear skin, etc. Same thing here. I just made, my arms a little bit bigger. I got rid of that weird like pink. I think there was like a red light coming from a building or something like that. So I got rid of the weird pink tint. Anyway, you guys get the point. So like I said, I don't want to leave you guys hanging. It's covered, more in the other trainings, but you're in this training. So let's just show you right here. I'm going to play a video that shows how we use an app called Face App. Once again, it's called Face App to touch up the face and body. And let me go ahead and play that video for you right now. Okay, keep in mind, guys, I'm showing this very quick and dirty, and I'll go more in depth in my courses, not that I'm here to pitch you. So I'm going to take this, and again, the app is called Face App. Okay, once again, Face App, and the first thing I'm going to do is put on the Hollywood filter level 4, the Hollywood 4 filter at a level 3, because if I put it to level 5, I think that's a bit too obvious that it's AI, but I think if I put it to level 3, that's a little change, maybe even perhaps a 4. Sure, why not? Let's go with 4. I don't think that looks touched up or edited, so I'll hit apply there. And for the skin, let's just smooth that out a little bit, as you can see here. It's just, taking off a little bit of harshness of the fine lines and whatnot. And cool, we've already made a big difference. It's gotten rid of that like pink hue on my face, and it just looks a lot more even and just a little bit more handsome in a believable way. And then let's just quickly go after the body. I can do the chin and the jawline in here, but I don't want to bore you guys to death. This is not meant to be a huge, course here. So I'm going to the reshape tool, and I'm going to hit size, and I'm just going to let's just start on the shoulders, and we'll just buff out the shoulders, and I'll just kind of go through the whole arm here, and just kind of evenly, buff it out a little bit. We'll go to this shoulder. Maybe we'll do some of the traps as well. Why not hit the chest while we're at it? And we got to get the whole arm so that it looks, Again, I'm doing the quick and dirty version here. But if I hit apply, you can see here, there we go, guys. It's believable, but I go from a little bit scrawny to quite buff. Again, if I was doing this, spending a lot more time, but this is just the 2-minute version. Already quite a big and noticeable difference here. Okay, cool. So you guys saw that video. You saw how you touch up your photos. If this is intimidating or, there's certain things that are just limited in this app. There's some things you got to use Photoshop for that it'll come out a lot better. To be quite frank, there's more customizations and stuff. So I offer this as a service as well. Just go to my website, redbeardrantz.net. I just showed you how to do it for free. I'm really not trying to pitch. This is supposed to be just a free training, free value. I'm not trying to pitch you. But I do offer it as a service, and I'll do it better than you would do it, by yourself. Okay. So the next thing is, again, we're still on point number 1. We're still on why are you not getting responses to your DMs? We covered the main thing, which is that you don't have an attractive profile. We cover the second most likely thing, which is that you weren't her physical type, and now you can cheat and kind of, make yourself more of her physical type. And now we're going to get into the last reason why she may be ignoring your DMs, which is she never saw your DM in the first place, right? So if she never saw your DM in the first place, what can you do? Well, you can message girls that follow you, because when they don't follow you, you go to their hidden requests folder, okay? When they do follow you, she gets a push notification right away, and you go directly into her inbox. But that begs the obvious question, how do I get hot girls in my area to follow me? You're like, okay, duh, like just message the girls that already follow you, bro. But like, okay, how do you even get hot girls in your area to follow you? Well, I thought you'd never ask. Simple, you follow them first. And like I said, remember we said a third of the girls that I follow on Instagram follow me back, right? Remember we talked about that? You have the high status profile with the charming video content pinned to the top. Then you follow girls, and a third of them will follow you back, and you just message the ones that followed you back. You can also message the ones that didn't follow you back, but you have a greater chance of your message being completely missed. So like I said, you follow 20 per day, every day. Yes, this is a numbers game. You guys got to wonder, how does a very average guy like me date girls that you saw, were pretty much, perfect tens. I play a large numbers game, right? But you're probably wondering now, okay, cool. So how do I find 20 profiles per day to follow? You're like, okay, well and good, follow 20 profiles. How do I even find 20 profiles? How do I keep track of it all? And you're probably already guessing this sounds tedious and stuff. You're right. So how do you outsource the entire process? Well, today is your lucky day because I'm going to show you exactly how it's done. I'm going to play another screen recording that I did on my phone that shows you exactly how this is done. All right, so now we're going to talk about how to find unlimited women on Instagram that you can message and play the large numbers game that is required for this. So we're going to be contacting about 20 girls a day. We're going to talk about how to find them, 2 different methods, and let's jump into it. So I'm just going to search Miami. We're going to presuppose for this that you live in Miami. Miami will be our example. Oh, and I think I said that, none of this, what we're about to do, will even work unless you have the high status or the charming profile as we talked about. So you got to know your city, you got to know your area. And I know that the hot area in Miami is Brickell. So there's all these places, whatever. Let's just try Komodo. Now, these are all the hot girls that have recently tagged a photo at Komodo, but I don't like using the top tab. See where it says top right there where I'm clicking? Because these girls are all going to be Instagram models, 4,000. I'm actually surprised. Most of these girls would have many more than that. Let's see this girl right here. Oh, wow. Actually, another one. But yeah, most of the girls on the top will have 10,000 or more. 4,000 is actually still, or 5,000, whatever she had was pretty much too much anyway. So you want to go to the recent tab. Now, this is Komodo, Miami. This is a nice restaurant, also a club. If you don't like club girls, go to places that aren't clubs and restaurants, that are only restaurants. You can also try gyms. You can also try beauty salons, hair salons, nail salons, event centers, all types of things, right? So as we scroll through here, we can see all the hot girls. I don't really like her face, but let's just say for whatever reason, let's just pretend this is a hot girl that we like. And we got to make sure she lives in Miami. And these are girls that you can message. Yes, she does live in Miami. Actually, we're not going to message them. I'll actually tell you what we're going to do with them. And then to get more, you can go, other venues in the city. But what I like to do is hit up who's liking her photos. So we can scroll through here. Presumably, these other hot girls that are liking her photo, a good amount of them probably also live in Miami. You can see this girl lives in Miami. Private profile. She looks beautiful. So there you go. That's how you find girls directly from Instagram. And what I like to do that's even better than that, depending on your market, is come over to like a dating app like Tinder. So I don't really like the tattoos, but let's just say, for whatever reason, we thought this girl was hot. A lot of girls in Brazil, and I'd say like 50% of girls in Brazil, and maybe 1 in 6, 1 in 8, I don't know, girls in the United States puts their social media in their bio. So it's like right here, right? It's Mesu _Z. So let's go to Instagram and let's type in Mesu _Z. Mesu _Z. Okay, we found her. Private profile, so we'll just hit follow. Now, it's trying to find a girl with a public profile. Okay, pretend this was the profile. So for a private profile, actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here, hit copy profile URL, and I'll have a copy of this that you can use. I use, it's called a CRM. It stands for like customer relationship management or something like that. But it's a list of where I keep all my girls in here. So I have April 1st is the date. I put her profile in there. And I'm going to mark the action as private profile waiting to accept. And I'm going to try to find 20 girls a day doing this. So again, this girl was a private profile. So all we can do is send a follow request. Now for girls with public profiles, actually that's also private. This girl had a public profile. This is what's called the tap method. And this is the best way to contact girls on Instagram that are random, girls, hot girls you're trying to date. So the tap method works like this. Tap, 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 tap. You just basically like her most 4 or 5, whatever recent photos, and then you follow her. Okay, so that's both. You have to like their most recent photos and follow them. Okay, now I'm going to click the three dots up here, copy her profile URL, go back to this sheet, paste it in there, and then mark this as, let's just say, tapped/followed, and we're waiting. Now, if I come in here, you can see we have other actions: followed back, DM sent, unfollowed, because you want to unfollow the girls that don't follow you back, right? So you're going to give them some time. We're not going to be super impatient. Give them, 2 or 3 days. And for all the girls that didn't follow you back, you're going to unfollow them. Now, the genius thing about the tap method is, let's do it again on this girl for whatever reason, right? This girl is going to get 6 notifications. So-and-so has liked your photo. So-and-so has liked your photo. So-and-so has liked your photo. And then finally, so-and-so has followed you. And it gives her 6 notifications. So it gives her, 6 times the probability she's going to notice that we're checking out her Instagram. She's going to be curious, like, hey, who's this guy who just liked a bunch of my photos? Oh, and he followed me. Now, if, emphasis on the word if, you have the high status, the charming profile that we talked about 1/3 of them will follow you back. I believe I mentioned that earlier in this training that, 1/3 of the girls on Instagram that I do this tap method to, meaning you like their photos and you follow them, 1/3 follow me back. And the ones that follow you, that's key, because these are the girls that will get a push notification instant. The second that you message them, because they've followed you back, they will get an alert on their phone and they will receive your message. You will bypass the hidden request folder completely. Now, from here, what we can do is we can keep going on Tinder, and you can see, okay, boom, we have another Instagram profile. I'm not going to actually do it, but I could go to her profile and do the tap method. I don't think she's attractive, but if I did think she was attractive, I could do the tap method to her, and then I would add her to the list, and I would mark it as, tapped, followed, and, we're waiting for her to follow back. And as you can see here, I've only been recording this for about 7 minutes, and I'm yapping on and teaching, but I already found, I didn't put the name here, but I already found 3 girls. And again, the dating apps is a little bit better because you know that they're single and ready to mingle, and you know that they're in your city, right? So you know that they're local, you know that they're single, and, if you're in a big city, you want to try to find, as many profiles as you can from the bios of girls' dating apps. And if you can't, if you're in a small city, or if you just want to find girls that don't use dating apps and just, directly find girls, from Instagram, well, we kind of covered that. And then, just to show it again, how about the girls that liked her photo, right? So, it's obviously a bunch of guys, but boom, maybe, again, if we thought this girl was attractive, this could be one. Or, this one, private profile. If you thought she was cute, this could be another girl, right? So there you go, guys. Whether it's Instagram or from dating apps, this is how you find an unlimited number of girls in your city to contact on Instagram, and also keep track of it. And remember, I'll give you a free copy of this blank Google sheet so you can keep everything organized. And the next thing we're going to talk about, I don't know if it's the next thing, but later in this training, we're going to talk about outsourcing this entire process to an online dating virtual assistant, somebody you can pay $5 an hour to, because you can see this can get very, very tedious if you were doing this all yourself. So there you have it. I just walked you through exactly how I find the girls. We talked about the 2 methods. You can find them directly on Instagram, and you can also use dating apps and find their girls' profiles from dating apps. Both methods work very well. I generally prefer to get their profiles from dating apps. Depends on a lot of things, the dating market you're in, what percentage of girls are putting their profile in there, etc. Now, if you want to outsource the entire thing, if that looked painful and tedious, then that's cool. I got you. I'm going to give you the exact job post that I use to hire an online dating virtual assistant. So again, if you're watching this on YouTube, it'll be in the description of the video. If you're watching it on my website, it'll be linked somewhere on the same page you're watching this video on below. There'll be a title, a section that says links to my other trainings, and one of them will be my online dating virtual assistant job post. So you can share this video, remember, like, the section of the video where I talk about how to keep track of the girls, where I talk about that Google sheet where you can like keep track of them and list them. You can share this training video with them. You can copy and steal my exact job post. You can use this training, I don't know, the CRM, the Google sheet, everything like that. And once again, I'm not here to pitch you, right? I'm giving you the free job post. I'm giving you, this training video that shows how it's done. I'm giving you my Google Sheet CRM. I'm giving you everything for free. But if you want to go even deeper on this, I do sell a course that goes much deeper on how to hire, train, and manage them. And if you want, I can also just run this entire thing 100% for you. I can also build your high status profile for you. Again, this is not a pitch fest, but if you want, I can, number one, build your high status profile for you, including the video content, and then also get you an online dating virtual assistant, manage the entire thing for you so that you wake up like I do every single day with, anywhere from 5 to 10 new leads across Instagram and dating apps, new beautiful women that you can message. So go to redbeardrans.net to go get more info on that, or message me on Instagram, redbeardrans1, if you're interested. So now let's get into it. So what the heck do you message all these girls, right? So we're making a lot of presumptions here. We're presupposing that you already have the high status profile with the charming video content. We're presupposing that you have an online dating virtual assistant or the time to just do this yourself. But once you have that, what the heck do you message all these girls, all this volume? Once again, I have another free training on this exact subject. It's a beast. It's called The Lazy Man's Guide to Texting, Copy, and Paste Your Way to the Free First Date. But the short version of that is, as far as your opening message to the girl, it really doesn't matter that much. Your profile is going to do the talking for you. I just generally something open with like, hey, I thought you were cute. I saw you on Instagram. I'm Casey. It's nice to meet you. Or I might do a curiosity-based opener like, hey, it looks like we have a few things in common. So a simple curiosity-based opener or a simple direct opener, but it doesn't matter because your profile does the talking for you. Okay, so the opener is like the least important message you'll ever send to a girl. Then from there, I make conversation based on her content. So if she owns a business like a makeup brand or a swimsuit brand, I'll talk about that. If she's a gym rat, I'll talk about that. If she travels a lot, if she's a yoga instructor, whatever content I can find on her page, I'll just start talking about that. Then from there, I screen her out hardcore on the following, which is number one, how quickly is she responding to my messages? Two, how thoughtful are her responses? How much effort is she putting into responses? And number three, is she asking me questions? So this is what separates the men from the boys. This is what separates guys who get success at this with guys who don't, is guys who know how to screen these girls out that aren't interested. So the green flags would be she's responding quickly, she's putting a lot of thought into her responses, and she's asking me a lot of questions. And then the red flags would be, of course, the opposite. She's taking forever to reply, she give me one-word answers, and she's not asking me any questions. Either she's replying pretty quickly and giving a little bit of thought. I see it as a huge red flag if she doesn't start quickly asking me questions, okay? If the girl doesn't, that's probably the biggest one of the three. If she's not asking you questions, she doesn't want to go on a date with you. She's just wasting time and using you for free attention. Speaking of saving time, you want to text like a chatbot, okay? Keep a database of your best one-liners, your best lines, your most interesting stories, your funny one-liners. I have a bunch of these, and again, I'm not going to go through them now, but get my other training. We'll talk about that. And the goal here is you never want to waste your time thinking of that perfect witty text, because ghosting will happen, and it's always going to be painful when you get ghosted by a beautiful girl that you were excited about meeting. But knowing that you put zero effort in the conversation and you're just texting like a chatbot and copying and pasting the same stuff makes it a lot less painful. Continuing on, what you text these girls, at some point you're going to give her reasons why you like her besides her look. So you're going to give her unique compliments based on her humor, accomplishments, points of view, your personal connection with her, her intelligence, etc. Okay? Anything that's not her looks. This is called qualification, and it's covered a lot more in my other trainings. The power of voice notes. So lately I've been, making my quote unquote like texting. I've been making my texting conversations go from like looking like this. This is Portuguese, by the way. I told you I live in Brazil. I've been making my text conversations look like this, from looking like this to going to looking like this, aka just voice notes. I send a minute voice note. She sends one back. I send about 3 minutes of voice notes back. She sends about 2.5 minutes of voice notes back. So as you can see here, we're both sending long voice notes. It's almost like we're having a phone conversation here, and it's it's almost as good as a video call at this point. And the closer you can make the interaction to like in person, the better, right? And texting is not good. So I think that's far enough as far as texting goes. Like I said, if you want to know more, I'm giving another free training called the Lazy Man's Guide to Texting. Copy and paste your way to the first date. Again, if you're watching this on YouTube, it's in the description. If you're on my website, just scroll down, you'll see a link to my other trainings. By the way, shout out to me. Who the hell is giving out free value like this? Like, I've just given you this course on maybe 30, 40 minutes. My texting guide is like 50 minutes. I mean, like my high status guide, like who else is giving this kind of value, right? It's all linked together. You guys, yeah, shout out to me, right? So a quick review, summary, the main takeaways. You guys can screenshot this stuff if you want to kind of take away the main points. But the key to picking up women on Instagram is having that high status profile. Without this, nothing else matters. All this stuff that I told you about texting is pointless. All the online dating virtual assistant stuff is completely pointless. None of this stuff matters until you have the high status profile with the amazing high status photos where you're well dressed, good lighting, in luxurious locations. And I really, really highly recommend you do the charming video content as well. Until you have that charming high status profile, none of this stuff matters because you can follow a million girls and none of them will follow you back, right? So after you have this high status or charming profile, then it just becomes a numbers game. After that, it's just volume, volume, volume. You can find girls' IG profiles from dating apps. Well, they'll be a lot more receptive, even if you don't match with them on the app, even if they swiped left on you, or more likely they never even saw you on the app. You can match with them on Instagram, meaning you both follow each other, right? And you can do that from, like I said, finding their Instagram from their dating app profile, or by looking at the luxurious venues in your city, as we already showed in the training. Hunting for profiles and keeping track of them is time-consuming and tedious. This will go 100 times better if you hire an online dating virtual assistant, or if you just hire me to run the whole thing for you. Now, the biggest main takeaway, the biggest, whatever thing you got to drill into your head, and I want you guys to understand and know and believe, is that once you have, first, a high status profile, second, a good online dating virtual assistant who knows what type of girls that you like and is, following and reaching out to the girls that you like, and you have an efficient system for texting women, kind of like a chatbot, then dating is solved. You will date as many high quality women as you want. You can have a Dan Bilzerian Playboy lifestyle. You can create unlimited options for yourself and then just choose one girl to be your girlfriend. But these are the three. This is what I sometimes call my my online dating success formula. Is you build a high status profile, you do a ton of volume with a virtual assistant, and then you have an efficient system for texting girls to weed out the time wasters and turn things into dates. And if I had to put a fourth one, it would be go international, go to a more favorable dating market. I can help you guys with that as well. I've been living in Latin America, Colombia, Brazil, cumulatively about like 8 years now. So, but once you get these three solved and, optionally the fourth, which is going overseas, yeah, dating is solved. You'll never have to worry about, women, sex, relationships, love, any of that stuff ever again. Okay, that's how you do it. It's cool. So that was a beast of a training. Again, shout out to me. I mean, come on, that was pretty good stuff. Stuff you probably never heard before. New stuff, revolutionary stuff. And, I've already talked about, like, I have like 6 other guides or something. There's the texting guide, the photography guide, all that stuff is linked, on this page. But if you want to connect with me even more, my socials on all channels are Redbeard Rants or Redbeard Rants 1. If Redbeard Rants was taken, then I'm just Redbeard Rants 1. So please subscribe to this channel. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to this channel. Please also give me a follow on Instagram. There'll be a link in the description of the video or on the page somewhere. And if you want to work with me personally, if you want me to build your high status Instagram profile for you, if you want me to run the online dating virtual assistant for you or connect with me about something else, then DM me on Instagram. Once again, it's just Redbeard Rants 1, the code word lion, okay? Just like the animal, L-I-O-N, just text me that word lion, and that tells me that you watched this training to the very end, that you're somebody who's super serious about getting help, and that, you know, you've qualified yourself as somebody who has the time and the resources and the motivation to get this area of your life handled and fixed once and for all. Hope you guys enjoyed this training. Subscribe, check out the other free trainings, and it's been a pleasure. Thank you for your time. Peace.